This video is for you if you find yourself in the situation where whenever you're hiring, you get to the end of the search, great candidates in process, and you're about to make an offer, and you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I'm not sure if we covered the market. We should probably see more people just to make sure. And there's so many things that happen with that in terms of how do you keep those top candidates engaged as you continue to go through the market? And then how do you ever actually know that it's time to make your decision, make an offer? I'll tell you, there is a way to get there, to have confidence that the market is covered and that you can make an offer and that you have the best person in front of you for that role. So let's talk about how. I remember when I moved from contingent over to retained search, and I was working on a search. It was one of the first ones, probably the first one I ever worked on the retained side. And I talked to an awesome candidate, got the resume, went into my boss's office and was like, this is a great person for this role. Search is filled, all confident, explaining their background. My boss is just looking at me. Like, we're probably 2 weeks into the search and maybe even less time than that. And he said to me, like, is this one of the top 5 people in the world for the position? And I'm just staring. Like, how do you possibly know the answer to that question? How do I know if this is one of the top? It's a good candidate, great candidate, but how do I know that they're one of the top 5 people in the world for the role? So there is a way. This is what we're going to talk about. It's all about how you set things up. So on the executive retained search side of things, at least in my experience, this is how we kick things off. So first, of course, we think about who we already know. Then we ask around, who do we know? And after that, it's fresh research. And where do you research? Where do you go to uncover talent and find new candidates? So this is all about having a target list of companies. So setting up an actual list, writing down actual company names of where we're going to look. So this target list is going to serve as our gravitational pull throughout the entire search. So whenever we're at a loss of where do we go for more talent, or are we on the right track, or it's always the pull back to the target list. And what I'll do is I will literally print the target list and have it on my desk and go through one by one thinking, do I know the right person at each company for this role? And it's not always the person with the same title as the role. It's the person that drove the same transformation as the role. So it could be looking a notch up, could be looking a notch down. It's all about the person who actually did the job, not the one who's taking credit for the job, right? Creating a target list is something that I absolutely love because I love the thought process of thinking about the client and the journey they're going through or they're about to take on, and then thinking about what other companies have gone through that journey before. Because as we're going to hunt for talent, like someone who's been there, done that, and can go into this new company and do it again. Now, ideally, someone's done it more than once, so they have a playbook, but that's for another video. So let's say, for example, you're a SaaS company and you're looking to scale and you need a new technology leader to get you there to the next stage. So an easy thing to do to think about this is hopping onto Crunchbase, finding other SaaS companies that are a stage ahead of you, and thinking creatively about that. Like, is it like, what other industries, still with SaaS, but looking at it from different perspectives? Like, what other ways can we think about this? Would someone from ad tech make sense? Would someone from fintech make sense? Do you need more of this data play? So there are different ways to think about it, but having those sub lists within your target list can really help you think about where to go. And the second thing to think about is recruitability. So if someone's at a company and they're on this upward trajectory, why would someone possibly leave at that moment? So throwing in the recruitability lens, looking for, and of course, call those people, right? You never know their personal situation, but in order to increase your chances and just to be really smart about where you're hunting, I like to look for companies that recently had a reason that someone might be open to looking externally. So maybe they recently went public, maybe they were recently acquired. So I also like to look for, let's say for this, you can look at some of the bigger SaaS plays and making a list of all the companies they recently acquired and finding the founding CTO of those companies. And then you have your list. And so at that point, it's really about using my network or your network, going through that list, figuring out who the right person is at each company and really checking them off. And as I said in the beginning, it's not an all-inclusive, exhaustive list, but this is the gravitational pull. So whenever you're thinking, you know what, we need to keep going, back to the list. Where are the gaps? Where are the holes? And this isn't set in stone. This is a list that can evolve as time goes on. As we speak with candidates in the market, as we continue the search, we can always go back to this list and think, are we getting the right talent from these companies? And add new companies to the list, takes them off. This can evolve, but having a list will help us at the end of the search have confidence that we cover the market and we can make an offer. I'm Somer Hackley at Distinguished Search. I am going to continue to post videos like this on both the employer side and the candidate side. So if you have anything on your mind, I would love to hear about it.